Good morning. It's the Wake and Bake Labor Day morning.
My man!
Buck and pals and all their fascinating friends and mysterious enemies in the super scientific century.
So, it's Labor Day, and I've chosen to, I don't know if I really had the option this time, but sometimes, like on 3-day weekends, I can do my Monday flowers. I do them on Sunday. But because the holiday and the 3-day weekend and the first of the month, all these things kind of fall in together as a really busy flower season. And so what I do for a lot of my stores is I just supply them bigger on the weekends so they can make it through. And nobody bothered me this weekend, so nobody got so low that they were scared. But, whenever I first got this route, they were panicking like crazy. And so I kind of wonder, was it on the verge of panic already? Were there a few times where it was sketch? Oh, I just smelled something really good. Oh, it's wood chips. Oh my god, fresh wood chips, not like hamster. I don't know what it was, like eucalyptus or something that was like really spicy in my nose. It was awesome. So, yes, it's a wake and bake. I got shit foot going for the walk, and I had some dabs this morning from Concentrated Research, who is one of my sponsors for my show coming up. Not this month, next month, the end of next month, Saturday before Halloween. But see, I do a lot of that for my own mental space, and obviously it's like, it's kind of like a morning Alka-Seltzer, take a quick bong load and you just like kind of go numb, get into a flow. All of a sudden you're walking your dog at fucking 4:30 in the morning. I'm combining. I'm like, I don't know what it's called when it's green. Go. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, bro. Weirdo. I think he hasn't woken up yet. But, so yeah. So, what was I saying? Just get into a flow. And, cause it's a 3-day weekend, it's like dead outside, like it's a fucking, ghost town right now. Usually on a fucking Monday morning, maybe that's why that guy's half-ass awake, because he still, had his hot dog barbecue and drank all his beer. Anyway, so I get into a flow, and then, like I was saying, I don't know if it's like candy flipping for me, because, so I got stoned, started doing my usual routine. Once I got done with my usual routine, and I knew I was ready to go, then I drink some. I say things fucked up, clearly, but I say is MET-RX, MET-RX, and I kept calling it MET-RX, MET-RX, MET-RX. Like whenever I was buying it yesterday at one of my other sponsors, Max Muscle, I was getting that, and I was getting some Cleanse and Lean. So I'm trying to look my best. Well, at least the best I can in the next 2 months, now I have a month and a half. So I'll be walking the dog more and doing more sit-ups. I was doing like 25 sit-ups a week, but I feel like if I upped it to like 50 or 100, maybe for the first week and then every other day, I think I could bounce it back. I've been fat for a long time, and a lot of you guys forget that I was a fucking back-flipping fucking ninja. I'm like the fucking ninja master that got all fat. What is that? I just saw that recently. It's, is it the vampire show? Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, so once you drink the MET-RX, you're not supposed to drink 2 of those in 24 hours because it's 200 milligrams of caffeine per bottle. And so really you should only have like a half a bottle. That's what I did. Maybe a third. A little bit less than a half. Because I could feel it fucking coursing through my lips. Something else broke. Oh look, they broke another lamp. That sucks. So, where was I with that whole thing? So now that I'm on the shit, I'm walking faster than I've ever walked before, and I'm hiccuping, but I'm burping. I didn't take any Cleanse and Lean today. I took it yesterday. Like as soon as I got it at the store, I popped it, and then I had dinner, and I just had 2 great shits. But so I'm hoping that this 100 milligrams or a little less, whatever it is, hope it doesn't make me shit my brains out the rest of the day. It's this Monday. Monday and Tuesday are my long days. And that's going to suck because everybody's going to feel like tomorrow's Monday. Get over it. So in a way I have like 2 Mondays. I got this tourist Monday. And now I'm going to have the workman's Monday on Tuesday. So Metrix, blue raspberry. Drank a little bit less than half the bottle. I don't know if I'm going to even take the other half of the bottle with me. For the day. Whew. I mean, I definitely feel focused though. But hey, let's talk a little bit about what's coming up, because I don't want to talk about it every show. but I'd like to clue some people in on what's going on. There's a commercial out with Franklin and Downs. I'm starring in it. And, I'm co-starring, whatever. I'm there. And, yeah. Anyways, so in the creation of this commercial, there was a bargain made. Back in high school, I tried to get a job at Franklin and Downs mortuary because I thought that it would help me deal with my own personal death shit. Like, when I was young, I told my mom I didn't want to die. And it really upset me that everybody dies. It still upsets me. But, I'm not a scientific genius. I mean, I guess I could have spent my life trying to figure out how to keep us alive forever. But instead, I just try to come up with ways to make life a little bit more fun, since it is a short wick to a means to the end. So that I don't know. I was trying to deal with my own shit by getting a job that made me really have to fucking deal with it. But they did not want to be my counselors on this. Whenever I was 17 or 18, whenever I went in to go get the job, because I'd already been working. I worked for the San Francisco Chronicle, and I did some other door-to-door things. I don't remember all the shit that I sold. Coupons and candy bars and, whatever. Me and Tom Craig used to have our own lemonade and cookie stand, and Alan Rasmussen got his ass kicked for flipping us off because he was out there mowing the lawn, and we just kept saying, "Hey, come have some lemonade, Alan." And he flipped us off, and his dad saw and whooped his ass in the doorway of the house right there in front of us. I remember we were all kind of like, ooh, when you get to see somebody else get their ass kicked, right? By their dad, especially. 80s style. Late 70s style. Not even. Come on, bro. What? I'm not talking to you. Alright, so. Where were we? Sales. So I went in, So I went into, Franklin and Downs and told them, I was dressed nicely. Told them that, I, was interested in working at the funeral home. And they were like, "No, you've got too much life, kid. This isn't for you." And, so I was like, okay. I mean, back then I didn't know how much I liked to hear the word no. Does that make sense? So, kind of butthurt. And, but within that same interviewing process was also my run-in with the retarded Australian that did all of Gallo Sonoma's commercials, and he worked on some other shit. Whatever, he had the cutting edge equipment, and everybody in town that was in video recommended that I work with him. Because that would be the pinnacle of media production. And, dude, we almost looked identical at the interview. Spiky hair, khaki shorts, white polo. I mean, dude, I was a mini him, but I had frosted tips. And then I showed him my reel, which was a VHS thing. And my reel had this video where my friend Jerry and Emily and Mark, they were being Jews and Nazis, and the Nazis were killing the Jews. Like, they shot them and then they gassed them. You know how the war went. And it was for a history report that... You motherfucker. Get over here. Sit down. He's been doing this lately. I don't put his collar on hella tight because I don't want to be a dick. But then he does this thing where he just slinks right out of it. Little motherfucker. Or somebody's been helping you loosen this thing, dickhead. Alright. Good boy. I like it when he doesn't pull on the leash. Anyway, so I go to this interview. This guy, he doesn't give me the job. Oh, dude, I'm hella cottony. My uvula just stuck to the back of my throat as I was trying to hawk this weird little drainage thing I got going. Sorry, I'm going up a hill. So, he doesn't give me the fucking job. And then, and I invited him to have a glass of tea with me at the J Street Cafe. And apparently I thought he was British. I meant iced tea. Because he's Australian, I figured he'd have a beer. And he was like, I don't have any work for you, and I don't drink tea. And he hung up on me. And then that's when my naivety sunk in, and I said, holy shit, this guy took me way wrong. He thought I was a Nazi. He thought that my video was like glamorizing it. I mean, it was funny. It was, a light take on that whole scene. But I was in high school, and I was on acid, and that's what I did. I made fun of stuff, because I wasn't there. I was a lot more heartless back then. I might even just deploy one of my friends to steal your skateboard. I had that happen to me, so keep the torch lit. I got this one cap in my tooth where all my meats go. It's like a meat drawer. And I floss 3 times a day. And I have a fucking toothbrush in my pocket at all times now. Because the meat drawer gets stinky. If it's usually tri-tip, but sometimes chicken. The chicken's a little dry. Or if I'm eating a rotisserie. Man, I'm not gonna fucking say what store. I mean, if you want to know, you can text me or private message me on Instagram, but I'm not going to fucking put it out there in the world because it's so fucked up. But, you know, I've been in the food industry for a minute, and the other day I went into one of these back rooms to put their extra flowers, and dude, there was just food exposed, just like Gordon Ramsay Kitchen Nightmares style. And it was like, but it was like worse. It was like that whole, what's that Golden Corral fucking thing where the kid said, yeah, the health inspectors are here. And so they're hiding all these potatoes and shit back by the dumpster. Yeah. Same shit. It's crazy. But it's not in the dumpster. It's just in the walk-in uncovered. But then there's like scoops taken out. And it's all dried and crusty. It looks like fucking... it looks like barf. And it's going to make people barf. It could hurt people. And it sucks because I had just bought some food from their deli. You know, because I was like starving. So I was like, oh, I'll just get some of their pre-cooked meat. You know? But the thing is that like this meat is usually used in like you know, like sandwiches or wraps, and so it's like a shredded beef, and that's what they call it, shredded beef. But I didn't have them do anything with it. I just had them put it in a container without sauce, without toppings, without anything. They were kind of tripping out. I was like, how much meat comes in that sandwich? And they're like, oh, you get like, you know, 3/4. No, it was like, maybe it was a half pound. It was like a little bit over a half pound. And so I'm eating it. I go out to eat it. And I'm like, as I'm eating, I'm looking in there and I'm seeing like, I know what different meats are. And there's definitely some tripe. And there's some tendon. And there's some tongue. And I'm just like, dude, like, what does everybody else think they're eating? This is worse than fucking hot dogs being made of lips of assholes. Because this is still lips and assholes. Not even blended into a hot dog. It's just lips and assholes. With like a couple slivers of fucking, thanks, you got lucky. There happened to be some actual meat on that bone that we used for this. Anyways, it sucks because it's one of the, you know, it's like one of the places that is really nice to me. And, they were even apologetic the last time they complained because basically the captain wasn't at the helm and his fucking underlings panicked and they hit the alarm bells. And you didn't even have to do that. All you had to do was hit me up. I come flying out of the fucking sky like the Mighty Mouse of flowers. Anyways, Franklin and Downs denied me. So, as I'm coming back from one of my Santa Barbara excursions, I think, you know, I'm going to call Franklin and Downs because I think J. Smith Biatch should come back from the dead. It's been 5 years. You know? Buck Stallion, he's had it rough. Maybe J. Smith could come back and do that stuff again. So, So I call Franklin and Downs, and this gal answers the phone. I just go right into my pitch because I'm expecting to hear a no, because I like to hear no's so that I can develop my sales angle. You know, I can hear all the objections. And I'm figuring, well, these are one of the first rejections I got, besides being considered a racist by Chris. And so I just kind of, you know, throw it from the hip, throw out the intentions of what I want to do. And the gal's like, dude, don't even waste your time calling anybody else. There's nobody else that's going to take this seriously. There's nobody else that's going to even consider doing what you're talking about. And I was like, okay. So, she says, hold on, let me get my boss. And so she puts me on hold, and her boss gets on, and she's like, what do you look like? And I'm like, I don't know, Google me. And so she does. And she goes, yeah, you look like you'd be my secretary's brother. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, so what do you want to do? And so I throw my pitch at her, like the Cliff Notes version, you know? And she's like, yeah, that sounds cool. Okay. Well, come see me tomorrow. I open at 10. I'm like, okay. So next morning I go at about 11. So I don't like to be the first thing anybody sees. And I walk in, and she gives her boss a ring, you know, up to her office to let her know that I'm there. And she or what's I? Oh, she gives her boss a call. Pretty soon her boss comes walking down. Can hear her heels come down the stairs. And she just hands me the script. And she's like, we start shooting next Tuesday. I believe this is on a Thursday. And I'm like, okay. So that Tuesday, I go dressed in my finest butter and bacon shirt. It's my favorite one. It's got the big hamburger on it. And I show up in the character of Brian, the malfinanced survivor of deceased gentleman. And me and my sister got to figure it out, you know, how we're going to get this wedding taken care of, how it's going to be financed, etc. Wedding. Did I say wedding? I meant funeral. Shit. Get in here. Dude, this fucking energy drink is vibrating my brain. Come on, over here. So yeah, I don't think that she thought I was going to get this shit together. But I'll give you the from here on out, I'll try to be faster about this story. But the special guests that I have for the show include Dr. Stryker, Kyle Barker, Slam Yates, and then, of course, the master of ceremonies for the fun funeral is Jason Ressler, one of my best friends. And we're going to remember Jay Smith through musical art. It's gonna be alright, Stanley. It's gonna be alright now. Johnny Chimpo told me that I was the best actor in the Franklin and Downs commercial.
A smoke alarm can save your life, but not if it's silent. Over 60% of fire fatalities and countless injuries happen when smoke alarms are installed but fail to work. Sometimes when Buck Stallion smokes, he sets them off and stuff. That sucks. But he always makes sure if he takes the batteries out to Chong, he puts them back in when he's done. Remember, only working smoke alarms save lives. So sound the alarm to your family and friends. A silent smoke alarm may be the last thing they never hear. Brought to you by Buck Stallion's Holistic Emporium and GreenShopDelivery.com.
Punch the like button in the face like a boss.
So, one of my sponsors, there's a bunch of them. Let me read them off right now. I listed them so I could say this right now. Okay, so it's presented by The Burnt End and Max Muscle Nutrition. Executive producer Joshua Nelson, plus the support of Mr. and Mrs. Torres, Barker's Music, Concentrated Research, Adam White Plumbing, Tits Crew, Fitness Meals, To Die For Salon, Franklin and Downs, the novels of Joshua Nelson, and, of course, a bartender named Tony that wants you to impeach Trump. Now, I've said it a million times, so I'll say it again. I am not a voter. I actually had somebody tell me at a barbecue, I was DJing on Saturday, I was told to shut the fuck up about anything if I don't vote. And I was like, no, I'm not going to shut the fuck up. I'm just not going to have a dog in that race. Why do I got to shut the fuck up? I mean, I can still have a perspective on the things that are going on. I'm not complaining either way. I'm more acknowledging the science of what's going on. And he told me shut the fuck up, and then I hugged him. And I said, that's okay, you can be mad. But, I explained my perspective. And then he was like, I gotta go home. I hate people. And he left. And that's okay. But I still want to give a shout out to Tony the bartender who wants you to impeach Trump. And also, these next few clips go out to Rodney.
You're stinky. You've been working all day. You need One Truth body powder. And now you're not stinky. You're fresh.
I love the old days, you know? Remember the old days when the doctors used to come to your house, right? Remember in the old days, cars, also made in the USA, right? You know, in the old days, we used to build bridges. Families in the old days, they saved money. In the good old days, law enforcement acted a lot quicker. In the old days, when we were smart and strong. You know, in the old days, we used to win. In the old days, you put the hairspray on, it was good.
I think it would be nice if somebody put Merry Christmas on something, you know, like the old days.
What happened to the old days where people came into this country? They worked and they worked and they worked and they had families and they paid taxes and they did all sorts of things. In the old days, when I was young, I'd say, we're not paying you back the $150 billion. You're not getting it.
In the old days, meaning a while ago, we had great surveillance going on in and around mosques.
You know, in the old days, we had mental institutions. You had a lot of them. And you could nab somebody. You can't put him in jail, I guess, because he hasn't done anything. But in the old days, you'd put him into a mental institution. Get out. Get out. Get out. In the good old days, this doesn't happen because they used to treat them very, very rough. And when they protested once, you know, they would not do it again so easily. In the old days, when you have a war and you win, that nation's yours.
You know, spies in the old days used to be executed.
He left. He deserted. You know, in the old days, when we were a strong country, it would be boom, gone. Somebody said the other day, well, he has some psychological problems. Well, you know, in the old days, bing, bong. In the old days, when we were strong and respected, they had a problem with Israel. I mean, they had a problem with terrorism. They shot 49 of the terrorists with the bullets loaded up with pig fat and pig blood. You know, in the old days, boom, firing squad. No, it's true. And we're going to go back to the old days. We're going back to the old days.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody. Nobody can do it like me. Honestly.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do.
There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do. Nobody builds walls better than me.
Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me. Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am. There's nobody more conservative than me.
There is nobody that respects women more than I do.
Nobody. We are led by very, very stupid people. Very, very stupid people. We cannot let it continue.
Anyways, there's my 2 cents. I don't even know what that fucking means.
Man!
A smoke alarm
But,
can save your life.
Hope you guys had
but
a good,
not if
have a
it's
good
silent.
day. Whatever
Over
you do
60%
on
of fire fatalities
day
and
off
countless
today,
injuries
if you
happen
have
when
the day
smoke
off,
alarms are
unless you're
installed but fail to work.
like me, and you still have
Sometimes
to go
when
to the
Buck
dungeon,
Stallion smokes, he sets them
regardless
off and
of what
stuff. That
the
sucks.
calendar says.
But he always makes sure
I
if he
want
takes
to
the
go to
batteries out to
Bohemian
charge,
Grove.
he puts them
I
back
want
in
to
when he's
talk to
done.
the giant owl.
Remember,
I want
only
to be
working
missed
smoke
and not
alarms
throw in
save
the
lives.
towel. I want to learn
So
the
sound the
seance.
alarm to your family
I
and
want to
friends.
bathe
A
in
silent
the
smoke
soup of
alarm may be
souls.
the last thing
Its
they never
ritual
hear.
has such a nuance. Use me as your tool. I want to do what's expected. Killing Kennedy. If I have to. Bring me my rope. These guys are a bunch of drones. I can finally breathe. I can follow the rules with my eyes wide shut. Murdering prostitutes. Hope that's not too crude. This place is full of panties and thighs and mostly nice guys. Wrinkly eyes. That just want to do perverted things. Put my head to the gun. Find me one for the other one. I pulled the trigger without running. This is too funny. Blood running.